Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear?
Good afternoon.
Okay, good. Good afternoon. Welcome to our final Zoom class this afternoon. And we are the three of us here with Mr. Lawi. We are excited to hear feedback from the trial because the real thing will be next week. So once again, welcome. And we also welcome Mrs. Atta and Mr. Lawi. And we look forward to hear from you about the trial before we go on to look at a little bit about APA as you requested last week. Thank you. Time is yours. How did you go about the trial? What's the silence? Is it like everything is all right? You understood what we gave you last week, especially from Mr. Lawi, and you did the trial and you are satisfied with it? I see Tana group there. I guess Kawenu neighbor, I can see them there. Okay, Mrs. Atta. Mr. Lawi, I think you did a very good job last week. The silent means they are ready for next week. Right, class? Hi, there's no response at all.
Good afternoon. Join in late, sorry.
Oh, okay. You just came on now.
Yes.
Oh, we already saw Delma Joy a long time. Okay, good afternoon. I was just telling everyone that we wanted to get feedback from you guys, how the trial went. And we had silence.
Okay, I'll give an answer. I'll start and then the others will join in.
Thank you.
The trial for me was good. I tried first try and I didn't finish. So I did a second try again. That's why I said like some of us we type slowly and that 20 minutes is too short, but that's a trial anyway. But hopefully for the exam, we will practice to type more faster, or maybe we will type in the Microsoft Word and then we can paste, copy and paste. For those of us who type slow. Thank you. That's my experience. So I did two attempts.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Joel. Thank you for your feedback. So at least you tried and now you know what you will be expecting for next week and how you can prepare yourself with your device and your notes for next week. Any others would like to share what how the experience was like, because I did not receive any query from anyone. I don't think so. I had heaps of work coming through my email, but I hope no one asked me. I tried to see if there's any question. Sorry, I apologize in advance if you had sent me a message, but I did not see. You're most welcome to ask now. Mrs. Arthur, Mr. Lawi said he didn't receive anything as well. So if you want to share your experience about it, the challenge maybe with us, and see how we can all work together to make it better for next week, because it's happening. The real thing is happening next week. We'll give you another minute and see if somebody will speak up.
My friend here, Mrs. Pamina, wants to share.
Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. Mimi make one trial of him. Let me answer them question number 1. After me said them come back again, and in the service a grading, you like grading or no, maybe look at some no yet. Thank you.
I just one trial, so we will not create them. We will just want them look more, make them you experience them the real exam will look like.
Okay.
We will not create them.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. What we've been hearing is from our neighbor just across the road. We share boundary. What about those of you further away from us? Can we hear from you too? Tana Group, I can see you there.
Good afternoon. Ating Mivlalotana, nating minamo mi atem plan, mi make one first try. Pa mi talon sesem. Ating mi no satisfy what the answer from timing and mi short. Mi answer them to get a question. Mi no satisfy what the answer from mi look so time short, mi finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Tana Group. You have anything to say, Mrs. Sata?
Let me start on first. I think by you look, by me put one first instruction and me say just answer low, only one. And me put low, me no make me put just me want to make my attention to is a real exam. Instruction is very important to you. So by look me play put me play talam, me put me no put low one way no ball. You must at least you was crap the places answer one. Kalau you mesti you answer pokok you look at time no nap ya sebidalamnya ini you answer one may no need to answer to kita. But then that one by happen the exam me read your seman apa you just answer one sorry instruction na you read important you must read them good first time to first attempt ya kerap good instructions suppose we want them copy you print it. Just do it because I man all the places na pahami kahit them you the most you know by you make up.
I think that's important. For exam next week, we will have 2 hours, 10 minutes. So the first 10 minutes is entirely for reading and understanding the instruction. From our experience last week, we had someone who, for face-to-face, who answered all the questions. So please just take note that it's important to read and understand. But otherwise, looking through the report, people have tried to make an attempt. Like we said, we're not creating this because it's just for us to see how we can get in through with the real exam next week.
Thank you, Mrs. Sata and Mr. Lawi. I hope you took note of the comments there. They are for your good. Please read instructions, okay? It's very important. Again, for your exam next week, it's going to be 2 only that you're supposed to write, 2 essays, but there will be 4 given to you, and you have to choose from the 4 and write only 2 essays, okay? Otherwise, you will run out of time. Thank you. One final minute. If there's nothing more, then I'll ask Mr. Lawi to just share the screen with you to see what it looks like from what you have attended. Okay, looks like no. So if you have anything, you can ask later. We'll allow Mr. Lawi to share his screen.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Yes, now I say stop. I look aloud to attempt. Before once you click in, you look everything, yeah. Instruction is stop. So you come, you go. The place me play just when I'm looking hamas attempt, the meaning say hamas money attempt lo answer lo sample test to stop here. Test essay we stop. I mean 31. Suppose I mean out of me everyone hamas. Okay, so I mean maybe around 40%. But maybe because for the time being when we will give him a delay or how much will haram, and now will happen. But example is we will since Talam last week, yeah. So we will want them say almost everyone from exam, suppose we know Makande in a Kutiana. So now I suppose by me look for semana lo handle me once we will click and anything where you make them, you will look everyone. Okay, you will look, you start low one time, you finish low one time, how much time you take them. Okay, for example, Debra, I mean, make them two them, the only one where by me will scraping from me for them, one of kite way start, me say answer only one. Kata John Pierre, I mean answer together, which is pamilima really, I mean take them too much time. For example, sa mandam lo tanaya, you take them by you answer them together, which is not make them also. I look it take more time from the time allow me just for only one lol keta question we start. So now how it will look like. Then once we will click, once we will want them creating, we will just click and we will looking full detail. But we appear low another page apart low. Then we will look full thing where you write for. And suppose we everyone you want them to take attention, you everyone sit that time where you write here. From the more you take them, suppose we make them write one of all font play you and me big size. By look you write full up, the word count by less. So you put time you write here, keep him font size play you and me low a little bit, play you write them the full up sentence within the space we start. Suppose when you write me make a font size big one like everyone and me title, I look at the test no. So yes, now. How now it will look like. So we hope say hemi could then by me just just me lay my camera hemi test question and no play you allow what me will practicing or looking send somehow but it will look like in the next week the real exam. We hope say you will look. Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you too much, Mr. Lawi. Any questions for Mr. Lawi?
All right.
Mr. Lawi, Mrs. Pamina wants to ask one question regarding one Plehem. Okay, Mr. Lawi, tram ko pagin lo belum ya? Kalau kami asking question le.
Okay.
Pamina.
Pamina. Where is Pamina?
Down.
Pamina. Review and never submit. Okay, you look me and Italem say never submitted, but me submitting him question number 1, yeah, me make him number 2 attempt. So I may also one.
You really click submitted
Yes, me click him
within the time frame.
within the time frame. So you want to say come look when you look me say what they
Okay, anything.
Yeah, that's the, and then
Yeah.
under there too, yeah.
And the one above,
One above,
there, Michelle,
Michelle.
same.
Sorry, my system account. They know me account lo handle they lo handle they my system account. So me by mokut pamina pa me come over from me really want them look. But even lo site play you look him me tell them say you still stop. From
me
suppose
stop no more.
okay. From suppose me go far from the beginning. By cut to tin, by you look, hemi cut, hemi will submitted, mohemi or hemi draft. Time you hemi draft, means you know, click last one submit for creating. For example, wait, okay. Attempt to some blessed day.
Review.
Okay, ami could pamina you could block if you ma hamaya pami mitis lukutam pamina. Suppose we play misty stop lo hand blame lo account blame but in apia lo summary lo place ya.
Mr. Lawi, meeting semi look down there, name me up a second time. Put down a little bit.
Pamina,
Nothing
Sorry.
there.
nothing there.
Pakai remetron, system the same information. Where? Me, never submitted. One more one, no. No, you wait, sorry.
There's much to
The
know.
Magnum,
Amen. Is last one.
And the last one.
last one down.
Last
Eh,
one.
Pamela. Yes, no, metal. Down one time.
Sorry.
Emena, we got what?
Yes,
Emena.
Hame, yes.
Oh, no, we got two.
Special.
No, for first one, you just make an attempt, you just open
Yes.
and
Review of first one.
And then
Review
the
of
second
first one.
you-
So it's straight all same.
Straight.
Okay. Merci beaucoup.
Just make sure you submit, huh?
Submit for grading.
For grading.
Yes.
Hey,
it's good
thank
to
you. So,
explain
macam
that one.
so really so me pamene so me limi ya. Look, first one hami no submit anything, and second one na hami submit more. So mi dalam system account I know lawis low hand so everything me no things about me lelo one side the system account blue me everyone. Okay.
So maybe it's a good thing. Thank you, Pamina, for raising it up, and thank you, Mr. Lawi. Again, at the end of the day, it's the system that counts, and we will go through and check that it's there, because I think I can see Selwyn's name appearing twice too on that. So that's something for us to pick up on. But otherwise, if you do it within the time and you submit within the time, the system will pick it up for us. Okay?
Okay, so good.
We are asking you to ask Mr. Lawi because he's gonna excuse himself to do something else that he needs to go to now.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, Thomas, we must leave. We got one very important thing to come before 4:30 today. Okay, Milo itulah if everyone with them colleague.
Yeah, if you have any technical questions again, flick him an email. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Lawi. Thank you very much. Okay. We will have a short time with you for APA. We discovered that language did not do the support that we thought they did, like last year, but they did not. And we also discovered that 112 gave you something to do with APA. Is that correct?
Yes, they give out a handout, a book.
Okay. Okay. I'll leave it to Mrs. Sata to. Sorry.
Okay, so what we have here is a repetition. So like we always tell our students, if something is, for instance, we use the theory of constructivism. So we tell our students, if EDPS112 explains or give examples of constructivism, that doesn't mean that that's only for EDPS112. That can be applied in all courses. So I'm just trying to stress that whatever that was given for, was provided by EDPS 112 is also valid for EDPS 111, but only because we have students asking. So we have tried to put something together. Also, that we can't give everything. So what we have here is, need to get to share the screen.
Okay.
Excuse us, we'll try to find what we have here. Okay, so we have prepared a short slide, PowerPoint on some insights or some key skills in referencing, APA 6 referencing style. So we'll just quickly go through what we have here. We might have this uploaded, populated onto, okay. Okay, so like I said, mostly it's just reviewing again. So why reference? Because we have people asking, should we reference? Okay, so we have why reference, two important aspects, two important reasons. So we have academic integrity. Okay, so it's all to do with acknowledgement, like we used to say. We continue to emphasize that whatever we use that's not from us, we need to acknowledge the people that have tried their best to put something together. So here we have the only content which you do not need to acknowledge is common knowledge. For instance, to prepare lap sosor, that's common knowledge because we know that that's our culture. But something that's to do with any theory like constructivism, that's not common knowledge. So we need to acknowledge the people who have tried to put something together. Also, we have plagiarism. Okay, so if we do not acknowledge people, then it becomes like academic dishonesty, because we are using somebody else's idea and knowledge as if it's our own. So these are two important things why we need to always consider the importance of referencing. Okay, I'll quickly go through what's there. So we have APA 6. APA stands for American Psychological Association. 6th edition, that's why we have 6 there. Okay, so it is essential to acknowledge the ownership of resources. With referencing, we must have two. Firstly, in-text citation. Okay, so we acknowledge in-text, so that is in the work. So when we are writing, we need to cite all the references that we use. And we will have to include a reference list, always at the end of our writing. So what is in-text citation? Okay, like we said before, it is within your writing. So it says here, brief in-text citations point the reader to more complete information in the reference list. So whenever we have something appearing within the writing, that means it has to appear also in the reference list. Yeah, at times we see people giving a list of references, but we don't see anything in their writing. Okay, so that's why it's important that you need to have both appearing. So whatever you use in your writing has to appear in the reference list. Okay, this is a format for APA. Follow the author date. So we always have the author and the date method of in-text citation. So in-text, let's not confuse ourselves. In-text citation is when we are writing. Reference list is always at the end. So for in-text citation, we always have the author, comma, date. Okay. For direct quotations, okay, if we have direct quotations, then we need to use inverted commas. All words inside whatever we have used is directly taken from the text. So we need to include the page also. Okay, so for instance, here we have, what's this? How do I make this move? So we have the author's name, we have the year and the page number. Okay, that's for direct quotation.
Excuse me, Mrs. Atta, are you sharing a screen or you do not share a screen?
What's that? Is it sharing?
You
Can you
cannot
see what
see.
we?
Sorry, I'm just asking, maybe my laptop is not good. I can't see that.
What about
Doesn't appear on
the
my side as well.
Oh, it doesn't appear. Okay.
Yeah, every one of us, yeah.
Share. Okay.
How about now?
Yeah, we can see now.
You
Thank
can
you.
see it.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, we apologize for the first part. Okay, so this is what the PowerPoint looks like. So we've talked about one, why reference, significance of referencing, what's APA 6 referencing, in-text citation. So like we mentioned before, always follow author date within the writing. For direct quotations, include page number as well. So we have an example here, Field 2005, page 14. Yeah, and you need to include inverted commas, speech marks. Huh? Okay, so in-text citation formats. We have, on this side, we have number or type of authors, author inside the brackets, author outside the brackets. We have another slide below that gives us a much clearer example of that. So one author, still in-text citation, Walker 2007. If it's outside the brackets, then we say Walker 2007 argues that. So this inside the bracket is always at the end of the sentence. Okay, so for instance, what do we say? A report reflecting on open book exam stated that students tried their best. End of sentence. Then we have this, Walker 2007. Outside, we will always use the verbs here. So we have argue. So Walker 2007 argues that students who participated in the open book exam did well in the real exam. Okay, so we still need to have a collection of verbs. So we don't say argue along the way, but we also have words like emphasize, stress, what's another word? Comment or something, all those verbs that comes in. Okay, two authors, instead of having and, we have this. Okay, Walker and Allen, 2004. According to Walker, when it's outside, then we need to have the and. According to Walker and Allen, 2004. Okay, 3 to 5 authors. We include all inside the bracket. Outside the bracket, we still include all. Again, it's the surname, not the first name. Okay, 6 or more authors. First time you include all the authors. Okay, so if there's Smith, Tom, Dick, Harry, all these, include all 6. The next time you use that, you use et al. So you just use the first surname and et al. Okay. And organization, so this would be York St. John University 2017, or advice from York St. John University. Okay, so that's in-text citation. Any questions on this? All good? No? Okay, let's move on. So, how or where do we use et al? Okay, note, using et al. When you have 3 to 5 authors, you must list all of your authors the first time you mention them. Then you can shorten. So first time, we have an example here. Oran, Collins, and Ellen noted that there was more than one kind of. Okay, for all other citations, if you're still using the same source, then you don't have to mention all. We use the et al. Boron et al. 2015. Make sure the full stop has to come after al, et al. Okay. For two other spot surnames are always given in the citation. So two others, you still have to include both names. All good? Okay, let's move on. These are examples, all outside the brackets. Okay, so we have examples here, all outside the brackets. Excellent study skills are fundamentals to academic success. Okay, so it comes towards at the end, but it should still be before full stop because it's part of the sentence. Doesn't come after the full stop. Other inside the brackets, Cottrell 2010 argues that excellent study skills are fundamental to academic success. Sorry. Okay, so this one is for direct quotations, like we mentioned before. So we must have the inverted comma and include the page number. Okay. Okay, for personal interview. Personal interview is interesting here because you don't need to include it in your reference list. Okay, so personal interviews are not included in the reference list because they are not considered recoverable data. You may cite them within the text as a personal communication. Okay, so we have an example here. Eating too much sugar is unhealthy. J, personal communication, April. Okay, so you need to include personal communication. So we know that it's someone else talking. Any questions on this? No? Okay. Now we move on to the next one, reference list. We use reference, we don't use bibliography. Okay, so when you are doing for academic writing, we use references. We don't have bibliography at the end. Okay, so have your reference because your reference list is already cited in your writing. Okay, so everything cited in the text must appear in the reference list. And everything in your reference list must be something you have referred to in your text. Okay, make sure you don't have anything in one place that is in the other. So that simply means don't have something in the reference list, but then it doesn't appear in your writing. Okay, so you always have to make sure that you have both. We received some assignments that they did there no in-text citation, but we have a long list of references. So that gives us a question on where they were looking into. It's not just a matter of giving a list of references. It's a matter of how much sources you have referred to or you have used in your writing. Okay, so the reference list starts on a new page after your assignment and before any appendices. Okay, place the word references centered at the top of the page. So after all your assignments, the final page of your assignment, don't include the reference after the last paragraph. It must begin on a new page. Okay, so it's on a page of its own. For APA, the reference list is arranged in alphabetical order of authors' surnames. Okay. Any questions, please distract us as we go along. You can and raise your hand. You can ask, interrupt us. Otherwise, we are moving on. Reference list. Like we mentioned before, it should be complete in alphabetical order. by author's surname, regardless of the type of source. So it may be a book, a journal article, a newspaper. Okay, whatever source, we are more interested on the surname of the author, and it has to be in alphabetical order. Okay. So multiple authors rule. There's a rule for multiple authors, sorry. So in the reference list for sources with up to and including 7 authors, all authors should be listed. Okay, so et al is used in in-text citation. When it comes to referencing, all the authors must appear. For sources with 8 or more, include the first 6 authors, followed by an list, these little dots here, and then the last name author. Example, so we have an example here. So we have Mila F, okay, that's first one. Choi is number 2, Anjali is number 3, Harlan number 4, Stamos number 5, Thomas number 6. Then we have these ellipses here, okay, these dots, because we cannot list all. So then we don't stop here. We don't stop here. We must include the last author, the name of the last author, before we can provide all the other parts of the source. I'll quickly go through it, then you can ask questions later. Okay, so examples, the examples here that we use, we include books and all this, but mostly according to what we are seeing, we don't see a lot from books. I think most is from the internet. Journal articles can be found in Google Scholar. So when you are searching, use Google Scholar because you have a lot of journal articles there. Okay, and most of the articles are peer reviewed. They give more firm facts on what we want to know. So we have books, the format, surname and initial authors, okay, published year, title of books in italics. Okay, so this is the format. Then we give you an example. Chapter in an edited book. This is the format. And we have an example. Journal articles. Journal articles, we have article with 1 to 7 authors, article with 8 or more authors, article with a DOI. So DOI includes all these numbers here down here. Okay, so that's an example on how to reference journal with an article with a DOI. Then we have web pages, the format, example. Okay, online report or document, and we have lecture and class notes. So we see, we are noticing that people would say, Darosa or Ata and so forth. But you need to say title of lecture. What's the title of the lecture that you got your source from? Or yeah, something along that way. So you have to see that, because otherwise you will have to see, we will only see students listing Ata or Takaro, all this, but you don't see where they are getting the notes from. It has to be specified somewhere, which lecture are you getting this from? Okay, so these are the examples. Online report or document, lecture and class notes, and we have our reference where we got this from, and that's the end of this short presentation on APA referencing. Like we said at the beginning, this is what we can give. EDPS112 confirmed that they gave you something at the very beginning. So we acknowledge the help, the assistance that they can give. This is just like we mentioned before, it's just another maybe review that you can use, not just for this course, but for your other courses also. And we also are asking you, please not to keep to what we give you, but you also need to move beyond your small, move beyond what we give you. So you can go into the net and see where you can get help from. So we have some reference here that we got all this from. So you can also use this to help you with APA 6. Make sure that it has to be APA 6. Okay, not APA 5th, not APA 4th, not APA 7th, but we are using APA 6. We have Harvard style, we have MLA style, but for School of Education, we use APA 6. Okay, I'll stop here. Any questions or any comments? Otherwise, that should be what we are here for this afternoon, right, Mrs. Tarosa? If they have questions, then let's say we give them, we have another 5 to 10 minutes for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Atta, for the presentation. I hope it clears up some of the questions that people have in mind. You requested this last week and we tried to put together something for you this week. Bearing in mind that you already have something given to you by Mrs. Morris from EDPS112. So give you a few minutes if you have any further questions before we hit 4 o'clock and we all say bye.
One question here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Arthur and Dr. Tarosa. I'm only asking if you can put this PowerPoint into the Moodle so that we can access it.
Okay, yeah, we'll have it somewhere on Moodle. But again, it's also part of this recording, so they can still access it.
Yeah. It's part of the recording, especially as Mrs. Atta was presenting and she was using the cursor to go from one point to the next. I think this recording will be much useful to you and to anyone else who can download it once it is ready and out there for everyone. Yeah.
But if we are to upload this, then maybe we can have it somewhere in the assessment space. So if they can, yeah, we'll have it. It's already recorded, but then we can still also populate it onto our EDPS111 assignment page. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other comments or questions? While we are thinking about our questions.
One question.
Yes. Go ahead.
Hello.
Is this Linus?
Okay, my question is about the forums. Those of us who haven't finished who haven't completed the forums. Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat it? We couldn't hear you well.
Okay, am I clear?
Yeah.
Okay. My question is about the forum. Those of us who haven't completed the forums yet, do we still have time to do it? Because since you've said that this is our last Zoom session, but after this, are you still going to allow us to continue with our forums, or because I'm stuck at week 12?
I leave that to Mrs. Rosa.
Sorry, excuse me. The forums are mainly for you to go through the lectures, the resources that are out on Moodle, and you use it to put out your understanding about the concepts that we learn. That's the main idea behind the forum. It tells us whether you are reading or watching the video, so your comments, your post, can you admit that person? Your post will tell us whether you are posting from basically from your own understanding, or you also got some of the references that we used in our lecture resources, okay, that we post for you. So in one way, it's a way of us seeing whether the tick that you get from the restrictions, the actual downloading and whatnot, is the learning is actually happening in there or not. We do not grade you on the forum. Okay, so our assessment is basically what's on the assessment assignments page that we have on the Moodle. Okay, and then what we come and talk to you about, like the assignment 2 and our exam. So we only grade you on those. The forum is there for you to express yourself, for us to see how you put your understanding of the concept across, so others can understand it and also build from it, or they can create their own post as well. Is that clear, Linges? So whether you want to finish it, whether you want to complete it or not, this is a course, it's part of your learning, okay? But as far as we are concerned, we're having exam next week.
Raise hand low, which one?
Thank you.
Raise hand low, which one? First them.
Yep.
Okay, since with this, okay, Telma. Okay, Telma.
Okay, sorry, to add on about the forums, I think the last post should be about the abstract thinking skills about teaching the planets. Is that right? Sorry, Pamina speaking. I think that one should be the last forum, yes? Forum 12.
About the planet. Our final post for lecture resources was done in week 12 already. Can you go to it? Mrs. Sata can pull it out if she can, and we'll have a look at the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last one, and the forum that the question that we're discussing is about the 9 planets.
abstract thinking skills for students to use. That should be the last one.
Okay, so that's
Yes.
okay. So
Helping,
that's the last one. Okay.
leaders.
Thank you very much, Pamina.
Okay, stable.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there something? Was it somewhere here? Can't find that.
I'm gonna follow.
I think that's okay. That's where I stop.
I don't really.
Return. Okay, abstract thinking. Active group.
Yeah, it's the activity on it.
So that's on that planet.
It's the last one.
Yeah, so major topic for adolescence and education was the final major topic populated. It's week 11.
Yeah, week 11.
Nothing on
Nothing on week 12. Sorry, it's
yeah,
week 11. That's
week
the last
11.
one. Yep.
Yeah, on abstract
Very
thinking.
much.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
just wanted to confirm all of what you
Yeah,
said.
the planets.
Thank you, Pamina. Okay, if there's nothing else, it's already 4 o'clock.
So we've confirmed
So we
the
just,
dates for exams, right?
not yet. We're gonna give it to them now.
Okay.
Or do you know when your exam will be?
No.
Okay, that's the last information for you this afternoon. We're having it next week. We're having it on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. The exam will be open for the 2 days. But you only have 2 hours, 10 minutes. Understand?
It's the same strategy that you used for the test. At this time, it's 2 hours. 2 hours, 10 minutes. It will be open for 2 whole days, but then you only have that much time for your exam. 4 essay questions, and you have to answer only 2. Any other questions?
Sorry, we cannot hear you.
Thank you. I think it's clear, the date is clear. So it's Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Anytime on Tuesday and Wednesday, anytime we want to start, we will start.
Exactly, like what happened with the trial. But we open it up for 2 hours. So if, especially those on the island where network may be a problem or they cannot get good reception from where they are, those 2 days are given for them to shift to where they can go and sit for 2 hours and do their exam. Okay, so we try to look at ways where we can cater for everyone to be able to do the exam. That's why we extend it over 2 days.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there is no more final question or comments,
On behalf of Kawenu and as well as the others, we would like to say thank you very much for this semester. I know sometimes maybe it's hard, but thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for all the encouragement that you have given, and looking forward to do our last exam before semester end. Wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you, neighbor. And on behalf of thank you, Tana Group. You're welcome, and we on our outside this end to Pentecost, Tana, Efate, Port Vila, Malekula, and everywhere else that I did not mention. We had learned a lot from you going through this. Although it's our second year, but this year we tried to improve from last year, and what you have said has helped us to develop in this space that we use for learning. And so we are grateful to have you in our class, and especially those of you who turn or who come on live every time we come on for our Zoom classes. We appreciate you so much, because it tells us that you are really willing to learn, and that's what we anticipated at the start, that we want you all to succeed at the end. So thank you for hanging in there and getting right to the end, which is today, and next week will be your exam. So on our behalf, Mrs. Atta, Mr. Takaro, and Mr. Smith, who started off with us as well, we would, and Mr. Lawi, of course, who is our main IT person, we would like to sincerely thank you and wish you all the best in your preparation for your exam next week. So all the best, class. And I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs.
Thank
Atta.
you.
Thank you. We'll meet
Dr.
again in
Rosa.
semester 2. We'll meet again for another course in semester 2. So we know that this semester has been a learning space for you to continue. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Otherwise, thank you. All the best for your exams, and please pass on the message to others that are not with us.
Yes,
To
please.
prepare for exams and the dates for exam.
Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
Okay.
Thank you, Kawenu Group.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Linus. Thank you, Tana Group, and everybody else, Abraham Etul. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
Same to